Welcome, everybody. Final round, Texas State Championships. You got BigSexy commentary back at it. We're at Evergreen on a pretty windy day.
Yeah, man. I had no idea it was going to be this windy, and it's going to provide some really interesting golf.
Yeah, the scores are a little bit separated, as you can see there. Ricky with 6 strokes on Paul, Paul with 2 strokes on me, and then I have 3 strokes on Schusterick and Ulibarri.
With that spread there, it seems like it's pretty safe for Ricky to pull away with this one. But as windy as it turned out to be on Sunday, really anything can happen.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody felt safe out there in this wind. It was probably gusting, 25. What do you think?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a safe number. I feel like 25 is like when it was at its calmest.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some lulls in the wind, I suppose, throughout the day, but it was pretty constant throughout.
So Ricky lining up a hyzer here. He's just got to make the water carry and just hyzer right before these trees, which he does perfectly and skips right into the perfect spot.
Yeah, that's one way to avoid the wind putts. Just put it close.
Yeah, absolutely. It never feels better to be really close than on a heavy wind day like this.
And you can see that flag. It is absolutely ripping right to left. So I think that the players are probably throwing anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees further right than they probably were doing in practice.
Yeah, which is a little scary because those trees do come into play across the water. So Paul's going a little low line. He's using FD3, I believe. And
good overstable
the wind
disc
affecting that skip.
Yeah, keeping it low is the best way to avoid the wind really doing much to your disc, and especially FD3 being an overstable fairway driver. It's a good play there.
Yeah. I'm lining up a forehand here because I was a little bit worried about the wind getting under the disc and actually taking it too far left.
Yeah, throwing the sidearm here is a great play to fight back against the wind. It's not going to push as far to the left, and that just kind of stayed a little bit wider than you want. Oh, my goodness.
Can you believe that skip?
Oh, my goodness.
I was pretty surprised. I thought I was going to hit that building, but as soon as it got its nose up, the wind got under it, and it took it in the opposite direction you'd expect, right in the water.
Yeah, that's a complete shocker there. The sidearm there with the overstable Excalibur, I'm guessing you're throwing,
right.
is a great disc to fight the wind, and that just really got taken away.
Bill lining up with a more traditional backhand. You can see the wind kind of playing with it, but it looks like an overstable disc. He'll probably be 50 feet.
I'd say probably out of every foursome, there was at least half the group was 20 to 50 feet left.
Yeah.
That's just assuming that all the players were right-hand, backhand players.
Yeah. Bill for birdie. Pretty good run in the wind, but not quite.
Oh, wow.
With the one he'd like to have back.
Yeah, and you're trying to do the hashtag countdown, you better make those putts, especially when Ricky's parked there for his too.
Yeah, not what you want to do, losing strokes early with Rick already with a commanding lead.
Yeah, you can't really afford that at that point. And I mean, Paul's lead on third isn't that safe, but he's not really looking at who's behind him. He's only got one direction he's looking at, so he's not interested in who might be catching him from behind.
Absolutely. So I'm tapping in a bogey with the OB in the water. Pars for Paul and Will, and Rick with a really nice birdie to start things off. Now moving to hole 2. It's going to say 500 feet, but Germ and I agree this is more like maybe 430, 440. Still a very difficult hole, though.
It's hard to say exactly the distance. Anytime you have water between you and the basket, it really throws off depth perception. And there's also a little hillside in front of the basket, so you can't quite see the pole. But it certainly definitely is not 500 feet. But either way, it's a long hyzer shot. And again, we have a pretty strong tailwind / right to left. So
kind of nice for this hole because it'll push the disc where you want it to go.
That's a fantastic shot.
Yeah, Ricky did a great job managing the wind.
I saw people
destroyer here.
Yeah, I saw a lot of players throwing way past the basket here, and I think the reason is because they thought that they had to to throw it just as hard as normal. But I think the play was to go with something a little bit more overstable to fight the wind and let the wind push your disc, but also have it not carry too far past. I mean, a lot of players were going almost on 3's tee pad on this hole.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Will threw a nice shot and got a nice little roll forward in the wind. Throwing Destroyer, kind of a low line.
Wow, those are 3 incredible shots in that wind right there.
And Will's in the circle too. I mean, that's four players in the circle.
Yeah, that's probably the only card. Oh wow!
I was so happy because this putt, it felt to me like it was going to do a 50-mile-an-hour headwind. Probably wasn't quite that, but it felt insane.
It may as well have been. I mean, that's just an incredible putt in that headwind, keeping it low, trusting the system there.
Yeah.
That it's going to stay up, and that was another solid putt from Will as well.
Definitely, Will had the extreme tailwind putt, which can also be pretty difficult. You can see Rick not usually going to take that much time from that range, but that's the effect of that wind.
Are we about to see a star frame?
You got it.
Oh my goodness, that has to be the only star frame on that hole. That's incredible.
I would think so. I mean, in those conditions, I mean, if you're any farther away than I was, good luck.
Yeah, there's no way to feel comfortable with a 20-foot putt, and you and Will were easily outside 27 feet. So those are big time bonus birdies for all 4 players.
Yeah. So now we got hole 3, 600 on the dot. You could almost rationalize attacking it with this wind, with the tailwind. You could kind of imagine somebody getting there. But the play is really just kind of a low hyzer and hopefully get to the spot and then clear that last bit of water on the second.
We're kind of going the same direction that we've been going in the last 2 holes. 1 and 2. Is that getting away? Yeah, that's turned over a bit.
Flipped on him a little bit. He might have gone a little more understable, expecting the wind to give him some carry. I don't know, but definitely got flipped over and got across the out-of-bounds path.
Yeah, like I said, the tail right to left. So the big aggressive play, which it looks like Paul's going for here.
He's going for the green.
Yeah, that was there, and actually, I think he would have cleared it had he not caught the outside of the edge of that tree.
Absolutely, he would have cleared it. But yeah, a tough break there. Caught the tree. Wow. I think he saw Ricky go out of bounds, and he started thinking maybe I could grab 2, even 3 strokes here with an incredible shot.
Yeah, he was licking his chops after seeing Ricky's tee shot.
Will with the more traditional shot here, just a controlled big hyzer. That's really right where you want to be.
That's what you draw up from the tee pad. But, in this situation, like we said, Paul's going for first place, and he saw an opportunity there. And, that's why this hole is pretty great, actually, is there is that risk-reward opportunity.
Yeah. I threw too low here, but, I mean, it's really not that much of a disaster. But I could have thrown it easily another 100, 150 feet. So another low shot, but it got some good little wind bounces. And it's,
wow.
It's up there about 20 feet.
That was a great recovery shot.
Ricky going with the flex forehand from over by the OB. And the wind just kind of dropped out on him, but he's also got a putt. And Will with some kind of putter probably. Making it look pretty easy. Good shot.
Yep. The name of the game on this hole is make it as boring as possible. You know, it's a 400-foot tee shot's really what you're looking for, and you just want to throw an approach like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that really got a kind of a hot skip with the wind getting under it. So Paul will have a bit of a tester coming back, but
Ricky's putt for par with that tail and just dropped top of the cage.
Just outside the circle. Man. Yeah, missed that a little bit to the left. Should have been able to make it. The wind was actually pretty favorable. Solid putt from Paul into the headwind.
He told me after the round that he was going for the green, and he said if I had got that shot across and been in the circle and made his putt, it would have been a 3-stroke gain, and that could have, for him at that time, would have really made things interesting for the psychology of the rest of the round.
Yeah. I think it would have actually been 4 strokes because Rick took the stroke on the first hole, but still pretty close.
Yeah, he might have been wrong in his math, but either way.
Yeah. Who needs math when you're trying to chase down Rick?
Those two are always playing psychological battles with one another. I mean,
yeah. Math won't help you. Birdies will.
Exactly. And especially eagles.
Eagles really help. Absolutely. So hole 4, OB sand trap, OB path. Pretty routine par 3 though. The wind here again was kind of tail. We're still kind of moving in that same direction. Will's lining up a forehand hyzer.
The only real danger with this shot is if you just sail it a little bit too far right, there's the cart path OB. Yeah. But for the most part, you have a nice hillside to have the disc check up into.
Yeah. All going FD3 again. Good result there. And
the only thing that I really think is in the way on the right-hand backhand side is that little clump of 3 posts there in one tree. Which I never thought would have been in the way, but someone on my guard hit that and dropped straight into that sand trap. And that's that's a good feeling putt you got coming up right there.
Yeah. I like to see that one kind of curl right there to drop in range.
Yeah, you see 3 of the players here like to stay with the forehand shot.
And Ricky puts it right there as well. So everybody's probably within 20. I mean, Will might be 20, but some really good drives from the group. Nice putt there. Vic from probably 15. Ooh.
I swear, is it just me or do 87% of his putts do that exact same thing?
Probably.
He's so accurate that he hits the pole almost every single time, but the angle that he hits the pole, it always seems to stall after it hits it and then just drops in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little scary looking. I bet, especially SloMez, it would look scary. But yeah, nice star frame from the group there is kind of what you want to see on that hole. All right, hole 5, very similar to hole 4. It's a little bit downhill. The preferred play is probably going to be a forehand, but you also could go turnover with maybe a mid-range or even a putter if you really throw hard. But all you really have is a Mando on the right and a cart path OB.
Yeah, the only danger really, I think, the Mando's not going to come into play for any of these players. The cart path certainly could, though, if you do, with this wind, if you don't get the disc turning, you can really find that cart path pretty easy.
This is, I think, a putter, and it was an incredible shot, I felt like, through the wind to turn it over just perfect.
Yeah, maybe even got a little help from the trees there, but that's the result you're looking for. It was an awesome shot.
Yeah. Ball with the forehand just came short of the path.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah. I saw his kind of get smashed down by the wind. I tried to make an adjustment, but I ended up overthinking it a little bit, and I feel like throwing it just a little too soft.
Yeah, from that distance in this wind, it's that's layup city.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it my best try, but it's tough. Rick showing me how it's done. Little roll out, but in the circle.
All right, prove me wrong, Nate.
Try. Never mind.
Prove me wrong. Oh.
I can swear that I wasn't trying to lay up, even though it looked like I was.
I've heard that line from you maybe 300 times.
It's always true. Nice putt by Rick.
Wow. Circle's edge putt, just outside the circle, straight head from where he was. That's just big confidence putt.
Yeah, really good putt. This one, you could see how much Paul had to snap that compared to his normal kind of loft, a little bit of loft. That one had no loft at all. He has to just cut right through the wind.
Man, that thing was on a beeline. Yeah. Incredible putt.
Will making it easy on himself with that great drive.
Maybe the best putt of the group.
So I had to take a par there, but everybody else with really nice birdies. So nobody's really. Paul can't quite make a move on Rick yet, but Will is making a bit of a move at 4 under already. He's already closed the gap on me.
Yeah, solid play.
Hole 6. This one kind of gives you the forehand or the backhand option. Just a few trees, but a nice looking hole. Going to be tough as always in the wind, but we're all just going to probably throw pretty overstable discs, try to get a skip up into the green.
And just like every hole that we've played so far, we have another right to left. So again, you want to keep the disc low, away from getting the bottom edge of the disc exposed to the wind. And if you do start it turned over, that will happen. It'll push down into the ground. You won't be able to get quite as far left as you'd like.
Yeah. And that was going to skip all the way, but it just got hung up in the bushes. He got a little too long with it, I think.
And the right to left also makes it more difficult to get a sidearm into the green here because it's just really pushing away.
Yes.
And you can see those first 2 shots were considerably wider than you would normally like, but with that wind, you kind of have to trust a wider shot that it's going to push it in.
Yeah, otherwise you're just going way, way left. Rick kind of bringing it in just a little tighter.
Okay.
That'll be pretty easy for him.
Yep.
Beautiful shot there, making the adjustment. I went with a PD2 here, just kind of crush a forehand and hope that it can fight the wind.
Yeah, it looks like it's doing just that.
Got me up there on the green.
Yeah, inside 28 feet.
Ball from 45, almost.
Oh, wow. He's going to be dropping another stroke to Ricky.
Will I'm not sure, accidental layup or on purpose. Maybe on purpose layup there.
Yeah, his pace and his body language. Oh, goodness. That's okay, though.
Yeah, I wanted that one, but didn't quite. I mean, you got to keep it low. So I tried to kind of jam it in there, but I was a little too low.
Yeah, Will's body language looked like that wasn't really anything that he was trying to run for. He's 4 down through 5 holes already. 4 down through 6. Good start. You just don't want to. What you don't want to do from that situation on a putt that you'll make 1 out of every 10 shots in practice is go for it and leave yourself a stressful 25-foot comebacker. So
I think you're right. I think he probably just took his medicine and laid that thing out.
All right. And the hole 7 is about 370 feet, but I think that most players are probably trying to throw closer to 400 with that mound there. It just seems like it plays a little bit uphill, a little bit further away. But yeah, you just want to send this one out right and let the wind and the stability of the disc guide you up to the top of the hill.
This is another one where we were going probably 30 to 40 feet wider than you would go on a calm day because the wind was just pushing and you got to worry about that OB. Will lining up a hyzer.
Jesus. Oh, goodness. Unfortunate there. It's hard to tell whether he was going to dig into the ground or not. I think he would have been safe, though, had he not hit that tree.
I think so, too. It was pretty sharp angle. Ball with Destroyer.
And that needs to sit down, right? Oh, same tree. That seemed, both of those shots I felt were much further coming in. I was surprised to see those come up short.
Yeah. This was probably the worst shot I threw in this tournament.
Oh, no.
It was just like totally missed my line. I was thinking like low, powerful outside, and I went with like low inside, guaranteed to be OB.
Just not quite flowing yet in your round, and maybe thinking a bit too much about the wind or trying to battle it. And
Yeah, definitely. A couple stupid out of bounds, but Will there laying up. I had to lay up obviously as well from my position. All not laying up.
Oh, goodness.
Pretty incredible putt.
Yeah, with Ricky parked there, I mean, that's just, for him in that situation, that's as much of a must make as it gets for him. Because Ricky at this point is now just stringing along birdies. And there goes his stall putt again. It's incredible. I've never seen anyone putt like that before. But he has to make that, and Ricky's just stringing birdies along, and he's just dropping strokes when he's not birdieing. So that was a huge putt for Paul.
Definitely. Got to get it. I mean, both Rick and Paul, they're obviously, they've battled so many times over these last few years. And I would say neither one of them cares much about any place than first.
One of the things that makes Paul such a great competitor is he's 7 back with 11 holes to go, and he's still thinking win. He still knows he can make this happen.
Yep. Hole 8 here. 815 feet. You can make a lot of things happen here.
Yeah, there's OB right with the fence and OB left with the sidewalk, and then you have the water up there, low ceiling off the tee. There's so many things to contend with here.
A lot of wind coming from the left. Rick's going roller. The wind's kind of got a hold of it, though. Pushing him towards the fence.
And the fence is actually your best friend for the roller, unless
it hits it straight under it for an out of bounds.
I spoke too soon. Wow. There's only a few places along this fence that can even happen. He's just very unfortunate there.
Paul just crushes a low destroyer, but the wind didn't quite get.
No.
I mean, he got a ton of distance, but snuck out of bounds over the path.
No, I was just about to say that's the perfect shot.
Will with a roller. He's a little worried about the fence, I think. He's kind of riding it. And this disc goes under and then comes back.
It comes back in.
By about a centimeter, maybe.
Oh, my gosh. That's a circus shot. You'll never see one like that. I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, wow.
Tell me what you think of this one. Little T-Bird 3.
Oh, just fighting the wind the whole time. It's looking pretty good, Nate. It's looking pretty good. And it curls up left. Well, I think
not a lot of spots better than that.
Man, I wish we were in the same group because I would like to compare and contrast our two shots.
You put one over there?
I put one in the 4 feet away from the water's edge, dead center.
Nice.
So yeah,
good shot from Will there, taking advantage, staying in bounds, and putting himself in position for a birdie putt. Paul, after going OB, gets up inside the circle.
A wide left gives you the clearest route to the pin. Back where Ricky is over here, you kind of have to make a decision. Do you want to go through the gap or do you want to challenge these two trees? And it looks like he challenged the two trees and got past them, but they kind of come and play more. From where you are, it's a much more open hyzer shot.
Yeah, that last tree got Rick. That last tree said challenge accepted. Bring it on. And knock him straight down.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if that red disc in front of his was his. Okay.
That was Paul, but Rick squared up that tree.
Okay. Yeah, that's what comes in play from back over there. So it's just a little bit more challenging of an approach from the right side of the fairway.
I'd say Will was about his 4th nice putt today.
Yeah, I played with Will in the second round, and he had a really solid putting stroke all day. Not surprised to see him continue it for this round. Oh, missed opportunity.
Just a little low in that tailwind. And that's just what I needed, a birdie after that foolish bogey on the previous hole.
This is a great birdie. It's definitely not an eagle. It's a par 4. It's a great par 4, but there's some birdies that you feel content with, and there's some birdies that you feel great about, and this is definitely a feel great about birdie.
Yeah, I would say, that's definitely one of the top few holes in this tournament. That's a really well-designed disc golf hole.
Well-designed hole, great difficulty. Anyone can achieve birdie in 2 shots with 2 well-thrown shots. So you can't ask much more for a hole.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with this hole?
Well, yeah, I've seen this hole before. I saw it on SportsCenter, I think.
I feel like if you don't ace this hole, you're not trying hard enough, even in this wind.
That's fair. Will went with a mid-range here, and it was a little scary, but it stayed in bounds.
Yeah, this one, throwing the backhand straight at it is scary for me, because if you just barely miss the pin and it doesn't sit, you only have about 20 feet behind the pin for the sidewalk to come and play for out of bounds.
Yeah. And people who saw the ace I had on SportsCenter might be wondering why I didn't throw a forehand again. It's a little thing called wind. If you haven't been to Oklahoma or Texas, you may not be familiar with it. But but yeah, if you tried to throw a forehand up over that tree in these wind conditions, it's probably going 30 feet to the right minimum, at least with my shot.
And also, you didn't have anyone to steal their line off of.
That's true.
Had we been playing together and you'd have seen me throw my shot, maybe you would have gone for your ace line again. I don't know.
Yeah. Once I see you kind of do sort of a boring layup, I say, okay, just small adjustment from there, and it should be in. Oh man, Paul just an inch low. Solid birdie putt for me. I was happy with that. And Rick is just tapping in again.
By the way, I'm still waiting on that $10 that you said you'd give me for reading my line and getting on SportsCenter.
Yeah, I think the check's in the mail. I sent it off, so let me know if it doesn't come through.
Okay, well.
Easy birdie for Ricky. Great drive.
Here goes the stall putt.
And this is one of those holes where par kind of feels almost like a bogey. Paul and Will are not going to be happy, especially not really giving themselves much of a putt there with the wind smashing their shots both down. But yeah,
the shortest, most easy holes are the ones that sting the most, and that's
Absolutely.
why they're great to throw in just for that reason.
That's true. That's all we've got though for the front 9. So I want to just say thanks to Germ, thanks to Jomez, thanks to everybody for waiting on this commentary. We had a little bit of a issue traveling out of town, but we're back. So thanks everybody, and hopefully join us again for the conclusion to the tournament.